I love to cook at home. Having good kitchenware makes all the difference in the world. Not only does good equipment make prep and cooking easier, but it makes it more enjoyable. That's why I'm a huge fan of Made In Cookware. Their wide range of products are designed to be professional quality, but for you right in your home. I have over a dozen pieces from Made In, including pots, pans, a pizza steel, knives, and even beer glasses. Yeah, they have glassware too. They have it all. Take your home cooking to the next level by upgrading your cookware by going to unitedwedrink.com/madein. Find out why pros like Sean Brock, Nancy Silverton, and Eric Repair trust Made In. Go to unitedwedrink.com/madein, that's MADEIN, and upgrade your kitchen and cooking today.
Happy hour, more like amateur hour. Welcome to United We Drink.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another new episode of the United We Drink podcast right here on unitedwedrink.com, as well as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever fine podcasts are found. My name is Mike Urevich. I'm joined here by Kevin Abbott, Tim Johnson. How are you fellas doing today?
Oh, just peachy.
I'm sore, Mike. I'm sore, Tim. My body doesn't feel good.
Can you tell us why you're sore?
No. Well, we'll get into that when we talk about the subject of our episode.
All right. And how's the world of coffee, Tim?
It is busy, no pun intended. But yeah, it is. We're still brewing, and we're brewing a lot. And every piece of equipment has decided to kind of all fail at once, so it's made for some interesting challenges. And so I'm tired.
Coffee is exactly like beer in that case.
It absolutely is. When
Murphy's Law comes into play all the time.
I literally called us Murphy's Law cold brew the other day, because it felt like when one pump would go down, oh look, then the other one did too. So good thing you've got redundancy.
Well, to throw this in here, for no one really knows this, but we're down to 2 people in the brewery from a normal 3-man team, and our one of our people, Ben, who's been there forever, who I love, he put in his 2 weeks. He went on a 2-week vacation that he had scheduled when the team was full, and this was the time of year because we're slower during the summer. So now Ralph is by himself in the brewery, and what happens? The mash mixer motor goes down. So now, and we have a tall mash mixer, and we do step mashing on everything. And so now we had to order like a 10-foot paddle, which I don't think has gotten here yet. I don't even know how he's doing it. He's still brewing, and he might be going down that. I don't know. Maybe he's putting on like a bodysuit and swimming around in there to mix mix up the mash. But yeah, the Murphy's Law situation is alive and well at Barrel of Monks as well.
I hope that you filled out a confined space permit for.
I said I think he might be doing it. I didn't say he was doing it.
Little instead of lockout tag out, it's lockout Ralph in.
Ralph in, Ralph out.
Ralph's down in there with a snorkel, just getting in there, hand mixing it.
Oh, I don't know if that comes into play with his sobriety. Like, I don't know how you can not. Oh, it's just wort.
It's just sugar water at that point, dude. What are you talking about?
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. What are we drinking tonight, Kevin?
I have been putting this off because I did not want to drink. You ever have like your last bottle of something you're not going to get for a while, and you just let it sit there? Well, I finally am drinking my last bottle of Belgian Red.
Oh, nice.
New Glarus Belgian Red. I thought it was time. I felt like I deserved it. This last week has been a bear, so I'm treating myself.
How long have you had it?
Only had it for like a year or so, so it's
Okay.
not like it's like super old or anything.
Nice. I have not had one of those New Glarus sours in a very long time.
So good.
Oh yeah.
Nectar of the gods.
I'm being very weird here tonight because you can probably hear my voice isn't great. So I'm drinking a hot toddy, which for those who do not know, it's pretty much just hot water, bourbon, honey, and lemon peel. And I'm just drinking it out of my thermos, as one should.
Your voice doesn't sound
It doesn't
as bad,
sound
as,
that bad.
as you made it sound like
Right.
it was going to.
It,
I was hoping
it
for something.
feels raspy still.
Well, I was hoping for something a little bit more like
Tom Waitsy.
earthy. Yeah, just something with a little more gravitas than you have regularly. Just something that gave you, like you had been really drinking bourbon a lot lately.
We'll see as this goes on how it goes, because like this will be like 2 hours of me talking way more than I have the whole rest of the day.
I'm hoping by the end of the episode you sound like Mo Sislak. That's my personal hope. Tim, what are you drinking?
I assumed he was going to just let RFK Jr. do his last call. I am drinking a Dortmunder Gold by Great Lakes Brewing Company. Love this beer. It may or may not be showing up in some future content, so a little teaser for you guys there. But I love this beer so much, and I hadn't had it in a while, and I saw it on the liquor store shelf, and I went, I gotta. So
Perfect
Yeah,
beer.
let me see the can because I don't know if I've ever seen the cans before.
Yeah,
It's a pretty can.
I had never gotten it in a can before. I had never seen it in a can before, so to see it in a can made me even happier. But yeah,
It looks very Olympics like.
it does. I didn't even think about that, but it absolutely does. Which I assume is what they won the gold medal for. Was not for any actual beer award. But
Oh, it was
like
100-meter freestyle.
yeah, that's what I assume. It is a
And I'm also assuming that's a thing. Like I should have said butterfly, and I would have felt probably more confident.
Butterflies don't swim, Mike. So there's that.
Yeah,
there is.
but they can fly 100 meters, right? I would think.
Different sport.
Oh, okay. Glad that we have Kevin here to clarify all the Olympic sports. That's why they call him Kevin Olympic Sports Abbott.
Did you guys ever notice in the Lenny Kravitz song "Fly Away" that he says, "I wish that I could fly so very high, just like a dragonfly"? Dragonflies fly like 10 feet off of the ground. That's not really that high. I never understood that line. It bugged me completely. But maybe dragonflies are great swimmers. That I don't know.
I mean, that Lenny Kravitz guy, like he's lucky he's good looking. And that's because if he didn't have his looks, I don't know if he would have made it in that business.
I can just imagine, Tim randomly running into Lenny Kravitz on the street. And he's like, "Hey, Kravitz, I got a bone to pick with you. Let me tell you a little something about dragonflies."
I can see Tim running into Lenny Kravitz on the street and Lenny making a beeline towards him and just coming up and slapping him. And he's like, "That's what you get for criticizing my lyrics."
Lenny Kravitz, legendarily a big fan of the of our podcast, so that would make sense. Long time listener, no time caller.
So, because Kevin got to have some time after his vacation to talk about like the beer culture of Spain that he experienced there. I just got back from my vacation to my home country of Philadelphia, which, by the way, Kevin, I did say this on the last episode. So the fact that you were like, your wife reminded you that, or you told you that I was there. Thanks for enjoying our show.
Oh no, Mike, you misinterpreted. I knew you were in Philadelphia. Allie asked me,
Oh,
"Is
okay.
Mike in Philadelphia?" And I said, "Why?" And she goes, "Because I see all these pictures on Instagram from Philadelphia." And that's when I said, "Then why are you asking me if he's in Philadelphia if you're seeing pictures
Okay.
of him in Philadelphia?" That
I
was
was taking that as you didn't know.
no,
In
no. Of course I do.
in Allie's defense, Mike does randomly post things of Philadelphia.
That's true. That's fair.
Yes. So I wanted to talk about some of our time there, some of the beer related stuff there, because you don't need to hear about my family. My kids had a great time, especially going to a Phillies game. My boy Bruno loved going to that. Got this new hat there. But we got a chance to go to a brewery out in the suburbs that I've taken Kevin to and that I love, Chamonix Creek Brewing in Croydon, PA. They've been around for over 10 years now doing awesome stuff. And they had, oh, what did I have there? I had a Midwest IPA that was supposed to be like a homage to Two Hearted, that was very heavy on the Centennial. Awesome, delicious beer. I loved it. I think I also had I have a lot. I think I had a lager of some sort there. Oh, they're one of their Pilsner. They had like an Italian Pilsner, and that was really good as well. It's just a good vibe there. I was a little bummed though, because they used to have a lot of arcade games there, and I was like, oh, take the boys, they can play the arcade games, and they didn't have any. So had to keep them busy a little bit too. We visited Victory's Philadelphia brew pub, which is newish. It didn't exist when I lived there, but it's actually a former TGI Fridays that they put looks like a 5-barrel brew house in. And I think I said it was like 6 FVs and 3 Brights. The fact that they fit all of that into that space is pretty impressive. Plus, they have like the whole Victory line of classic stuff that you see more so there. We only get their monkey stuff down here in South Florida, which really sucks because then we don't get to have Dirt Wolf, which I just love that beer. Probably one of my favorite double IPAs.
That comes down seasonally in mixed packs.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
I've never seen. Yeah.
You have to go into like the mixed pack section of Total Wine.
Okay.
I see it pretty much every year. Just as a heads up.
Okay. If you see it, please let me know, and I will head over there and get it. Slow pour of Prima, just beautiful, love it. And we visited Yards, who are a Philly Institute. I've been there before, had a couple of their beers, but one of the breweries that we visited, 2 breweries actually that we visited that we've never been to before. First was Carbon Copy. They have 3 locations in the city where their real brewery is in West Philly, but we went to their South Philly tap room where they're actually producing some wine, and had a dark English mild, and a Polish lager that was like slightly smoky. Both of them were just beautiful, amazing beers. Like, I mean, you know that I'm a huge mark for dark mild, so was happy about that. But I mean, that Polish lager, I've never had anything like it before. It was just this mild hint of smokiness to it, and just a light, crisp, tiny bit of hoppy bitterness to it. It was fantastic. I've been following them for a while and was happy that we had a chance to stop by there. And then Cartesian, I believe, is the way to pronounce this other brewery in South Philly that we went to. We went to on the last night there, and it was slammed. They were so busy. They have a pizza oven in there. They make pizzas. I had what did I had a Kolsch. I had an IPA, with fantastic beers there. Oh, I had a a playoff of Celebration and Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. It's like just like an amber colored pale ale with a lot of Cascade. Excuse me, a lot of Cascade in it. It was wonderful. Overall, like, just drank some really good beers at some really awesome places. got to experience the city in a lot of the ways that I wanted to. Took the kids to the old neighborhood, and see some of the sights around Center City. Uh, yeah, I love that city so much. Can't wait to go back.
That's awesome, dude. I'm so happy you had a chance to do that, especially with the boys getting older and being able to appreciate it more and more.
Yeah, they appreciate the beer a lot. No, it was fun. It was a lot. I mean, taking twin 4-year-olds on a trip anywhere could be a bad idea. And there's ways you could have said this was a bad idea, but we want to let them experience cultures in different places as early as we can. So the fact that we are able to do this for them, we would never second guess that.
Awesome.
So, Kevin, why don't you explain to us what you wanted to talk about for the main topic? Because you brought this up to us, and I thought it was a really good idea.
So, as I mentioned earlier, we're short-staffed in the brewery for this week, and that means that I needed to go down and keg some beer this week for a couple days and move kegs around. And I have not done anything in a brewery, and I can't remember how long, right? I mean, I used to work 60 hours a week in a production facility that I was the only person that worked in. I mean, for a long period of time, I did that. So I did every function you can imagine inside of a brewery. And I was much younger then, and I could actually lift things. And lo and behold, after sitting on my ass doing emails for many, many years, I had lost half my muscle mass. I couldn't move anything around. I got winded and tired almost immediately. I was freaking exhausted, sweat pouring out of every orifice. And I was sitting there thinking, man, I'm 45 years old. I'm not an old man by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm getting there. And I can't imagine. And by the way, in saying this, in Tim's mind, he's going, this motherfucker. I bust my ass every goddamn day, and this guy's complaining about kegging beer for two days. And that's an important thing and that's why I wanted to bring this up. Not because I'm getting old and tired, and I'm too soft to work in this industry anymore on the production side, but because all of us are getting older, and there's many, many people who are our age and older that are still doing what Tim does and putting his boots on every day and working his ass off. And I'm sitting there going, no matter what you do, no matter how strong you are, no matter how good you are, how good a shape you're in, Father Time catches up with all of us. And just in general, it becomes more and more difficult. The knees start to hurt more. The back starts to hurt more. And as we age and our skill sets are, especially those whose skill set and what they've done in the industry has been around production, that becomes a real conversation of how long you can do this job, how long the body's going to hold up, how long your quality of life can keep up, even if you've got the strongest back in the world to doing this. And we're now in an age, and our contemporaries are in an age where we're starting to ask those questions about ourselves. And I just thought that was something that we've never really addressed on the show. And then as a kind of add-on to that, how our mentalities are changing, how our maturity in this industry has changed our perception of the industry. I mean, we talk about it all the time, like how we think about the industry differently, but how does our age, our goals in what we're trying to accomplish here changed from 35 to 45? Because I know mine have changed a lot. I don't care about a lot of the things that I used to really, really care about. I'm more dedicated and passionate about this part of the industry, much less about this part of the industry. And I think we're all changing, and I just thought it'd be interested to see what you guys thought about that.
Mike is unaware that he is on mute. I'm sure he said something very insightful, though.
It was the most insightful thing. I'm so sorry that you missed it, and it was meant for the time. It's past. I mean, I was actually going to say that I feel like the guy who is still doing this and rocking it should really have the first say in this, because Tim, you are a dude in your 40s who is still like putting those boots on, putting on the pants and going out and walking up and down stairs, lifting stuff, putting
I'm
stuff down
I'm
all
I'm
day
supposed
long.
to be wearing pants. Ooh, okay. Note to self, that might be why everyone stares. No, it's funny because literally just earlier today, I was talking about how like my ankles are completely shot and I wear ankle braces. Even though I have high boots that should be ankle support, it's not enough, and so I wear ankle braces inside of my boots because like just that part of me can't make it work, and how I am sore, and how I usually keep a supply of Epsom salts at home so I can soak something or all things often because I am a sore tire old man. Um, so yeah, uh, how much longer can I do this without my body breaking down? Probably another 5 years ago. um, I, yeah, it's tough, and when I see guys that are older than me that are still doing it, either they took a lot better care of themselves. Like I have to have someone who is now encouraging me to remember to eat like a good breakfast and a good lunch, and not just donuts that were in the break room, and actually take care of myself and get enough sleep and do all of those things so that I can function. Um, but yeah, it's a very real fear of not being able to do this anymore. Um, and hoping that I can develop some sort of marketable skill set that doesn't require all the physical demands. Um, yeah, I I've been wondering that for a while now, though. How much longer can I do it? And I keep on pushing those limits. So, um, I don't know. You might just find me taking a nap on the brewery floor at some point.
Well, an important part of that, Tim, is talking about the time to quit was 5 years ago. What you're explaining with your ankles, people just work through it, right? People feel the same way you do, worse than you do, and they just do it because they have no other choice, right? I mean, there are factory workers across this country that have never brewed a batch of beer or coffee who are working harder than any of us have ever worked, right?
Mm-hmm.
With bleeding hands going home, right? And they do it because it's a necessity for them to live. So, unfortunately, that's just a position a lot of people are put in. And it's really interesting when you talk about like the marketable skill. At what point are you able to like look at yourself as a brewer? And I'm not talking about you, Tim, specifically. I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking about people listening. Are you able to look at yourself and go like, where's my next step at my job, right? Where can I go from here that isn't going to be so physically taxing on me? What lateral ish move could I go to a different company, different facility, different industry where my things will translate, where maybe I'm heading production because of all of the skills that I've adapted. And the thing is as many talented people that are in this industry, there's not enough of those jobs.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's more of the bust your ass jobs than anything else when you're talking about beer production, at least. And you don't have as many of the head positions where you're mostly sitting on your ass and doing the kind of work I do. So not everyone who's talented and skilled and deserves it is going to be able to do it.
Yeah, that's a conversation that I was having just the other day with a friend of how do we get you, Tim, into kind of your next career, your next thing. And boy, wouldn't it be great if it were something like beer or beverage that you're knowledgeable and passionate about. And I was like, it would be. It would also be really great if I won the lottery, because the odds of finding something that A, exists, B, doesn't have 3 billion other candidates, and C, pays worth a darn are pretty slim. I mean, that's
Well,
that's the
and
other thing.
add-in 4 is near you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I could, I've seen a lot of brewers transition into some sort of like sales role, or working for a vendor or things like that. I'm also a single dad. I can't be traveling 4 nights a week. I can't be working all these events on nights and weekends, like those types of things that become another limiting factor. Also, I think I would suck at sales and don't really want to do it. But um, a lot of those are the things that even 10 years ago existed in beer don't exist anymore. I mean, people used to employ professional cicerones. I don't know anyone that is making a living as a professional cicerone anymore. It's some of those things where restaurants and beer bars and things like that, there are a lot of places like bar restaurant groups, liquor store chains that have just gotten by without a real beer buyer for a while now. So
Right.
like the way that even those jobs have not only are they few and far between, they're becoming less and less and less available just in general.
Yeah, I mean, I I think about where I was. I was like in my late 20s when I got into the beer business officially. So like you could even say like kind of late starting to a manual laborish type of job because you already lost maybe like 9 years of like really good prime uh, to you, and now like before I knew it, I was in my mid 30s, then my late 30s, and now like I'm crawling into my mid 40s. Like I'm not working in a brewery anymore, but man, like I really had no options. Like I didn't want to be in the brewery. I wanted to be in a more marketing role, and thankfully I had the ability to kind of use that and come to an agreement with a part-time gig doing that for Copper Point. But like that was a part-time gig. That wasn't even a full-time role. And that was when like yeah, the beer world was recovering from COVID, I guess, kind of at that time. But man, even if I wanted to stay in the brewery, like I had no real moving up there. Like I don't know where I could have gone down here to improve my standing. Like everywhere it would have just been like a cellar gig. I could have brewed, but I didn't want to brew. Like I wanted something more than that, like production manager, ops manager, type of stuff. And like no one's hiring those types of gigs. They just have their head brewer handle all of that type of stuff. And the ones who do hire those, they're not here, and they usually have way better candidates than someone like me. So like it became to where like, yeah, let me just try to get out of the brewery and not hurt my body and see what I can do from there. And that's still fucking hard.
I mean,
Like
the industry ages you. Like those of you watching on video at home, I'm 23. That's how much this ages you. Um, no, God, that was 20 years ago. No, it is one of those things where, as people in a brewery are being asked to wear more and more hats rather than hire more and more people, um, that also, on the one hand, it helps you develop more and more skill sets, but on the other hand, it just is a sign of the times of how.
but does it
um,
make you good at those skill sets and to where it makes you hireable to someone, like to a different industry or to someone else? Like that's a thing that I have struggled with, like for the last, like I don't know, 10 years, is like doing graphic design, doing photography, doing social media management. It's like I don't have a degree in any of that. I've just learned this stuff as I go. And does what I have done look good enough on a resume to for someone to want to hire me as that outside of this industry? And a lot of times I'm thinking no, because I have interviewed for roles like that in the past, and I have not gotten any of them.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of that is a crapshoot. I think the more I work in other industries, the more I realize that nobody knows what the fuck they're doing anywhere. And so, a lot of times it's more. like I hate to be cliche, but it's the who you know more than what you know type of thing.
I feel like beer's like that a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
I think what Tim's saying is that everything is that.
Yeah.
I mean, every industry has its own version of that. And both of you guys kind of talked about this a little bit, but you talking about like the idea of, beer so well, you could be a salesman even though you don't want to be. Well, it's a good thing you don't want to be, because if you lived in Florida, there's no more of those jobs.
Yeah.
Most breweries have let go of their salespeople or brought them down to half part-time, or reduced 2 salespeople in a state to 1. The jobs in the brewery
or breweries share a salesperson.
Yeah.
The jobs you can have in a brewery have shrunk significantly over the past 10 years. The only ones you really need is the people to make the liquid, right?
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's necessary. Now, yes, you could cut back on staff and then put more weight on someone that's already there. Surely that has happened. And also production goes down and you just don't need to make as much product. Well, you let people go. So it's not like that side of the industry hasn't been hurt at all, but it's really the only one that is 100% necessary. I mean, if I fucked off and just didn't show up to work for the next 6 weeks, somehow someone would send an order and it would get to Ralph and Ben and they'd still send them beer. Right? Like, I'm really not that necessary. Without them, the entire thing falls apart. And that's the bedrock of everything that we do. I mean, that's this is what I just described society, right? The people that are actually manufacturing, actually the ones that matter are the ones actually doing the actual hard work that get none of the credit and don't get paid shit. We're just complaining about capitalism basically at this point. But no, with an industry that's shrinking like this, there's not only are those, as you said, Mike, those jobs have to be close to you and they have to be well paying and all this stuff. They're just not there. And unless you can find something, I mean, Tim, the fact that you made would be considered a lateral move out of beer, but still working in production, still brewing, unless you can find something like that, I think a lot of people just kind of feel stuck.
Yeah.
Right. Like, right now, if I had to transition out of the beer industry, where the hell would I go? I'd go bag groceries at Publix. I mean, that's what my skill set can do. That's why I'm trying to get an education and give myself another opportunity for a second act down the road. And that's a luxury that very few people have. So if I didn't have that, I would just be sitting there going, man, I really hope this brewery doesn't burn down tomorrow. Because if it does, I got no options.
Oh yeah, wish it didn't. Okay, sorry. Because some days
you could collect insurance.
Yeah, some days the Kimberly Clark arsonist had some pretty good ideas. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, no, it's one of those things where, and I did get completely out of the industry for a spell for a little over a year. Did not like that particular role, that particular job. Did miss actually having a physical job. Did miss actually using technical expertise. It sucks. Like, I already, worked kind of that corporate 9 to 5 thing that I know was soul crushing and, took everything out of me. So, but like, if this is physically crushing and I say soul crushing, I still could maintain some semblance of myself. But if I physically can't do this anymore, I am going to have to go back to one of those careers where I was frustrated constantly. I say this out loud, realizing that I feel like maybe I'm just trading one mental health crisis for another. But I think even people who did come from, because there are a lot of people in the industry, right, that came to it later in life, like myself, and now as they're getting back out of the industry, They're finding that it's a very different world in the corporate environment than when they left to go into beer. Um, and so that's a whole other thing, right?
That was something I was going to really ask you is like,
yeah.
if you wanted to go back into the corporate world, do you think you could actually get back in? Like, because do you think that they would trust someone of your age that you've been out of it for such a long time? Like I feel like that it's become so clicky and broy. Like they'd look at you and be like, ah, what's this old man? He ain't going to do nothing. And they'd rather hire someone straight. And plus, you're going to want a higher salary, and they're going to just hire someone out of college who would take a little less.
Yeah, I definitely sacrificed 10 years of experience in another field uh to 10 plus years, whatever it was, more than that, I guess, now at this point. But I sacrificed over a decade of experience in another field that going back to it, I would be basically 10 years behind of an age where I think, you know, I should make more than someone out of college, but I don't necessarily have the as many years of experience now doing that. Now, some of that I can certainly spin that. A lot of the things that I was doing before, I still applied through brewing, right? Still people leadership, inventory management, operations, process management. A lot of those things, you can spin in the right way. I certainly know people who have gotten out of head brewing and landed into a pretty nice corporate position, but that was also right place, right time, right person, right? We've talked about it on the pod before.
Oh yeah,
that how sometimes people attribute to skill what should be attributed to luck. um, and so some people do land into that, and then other people struggle and try to find that thing. But yeah, I could my skill set work. I've certainly been able to get interviews. Uh, has that necessarily turned into anything? No. And I mean, it's not like those jobs. We're not exactly in a great economy for hiring professionals in general as well, right? Even when
really?
even when the jobs reports come out, those aren't the sexy jobs that people are going. If you go look at any job board right now, you're going to see a lot of like second and third shift stuff, right? You're not going to see, even for people like with the resume that I have, that things that I would be qualified for, things that would be interested in. Uh, it's not exactly a time where they're just handing out sexy jobs on the street corner. That sounded that's not where I intended to go with that.
Prostitutes? Is that what
came
you're
out
going with?
wrong. Well,
Those are sexy jobs on the street corner. I'm just saying.
I might have to resort to that. I don't know.
I think you could do it.
I mean, I was gonna say, I always have my feet, so I don't know that there is a market for like an OnlyFans market for broken brewer feet. Would you like to see trench foot from boots that don't breathe and sweating all day? I can go and take pictures of that, but yeah, it's what do you do even if your body hasn't broken down, but it's just time for you to move on to the industry? What do you do? How do you take the years of experience in this industry that's very specific? But yeah, like you said, as an older man, even if I can spend that experience right, I say older. I my best years are ahead of me, gentlemen. Is a lie.
I agree,
but it's a lie. I tell myself to wake up every morning. But yeah, it's
well,
I'm old.
I think that a lot of people are experiencing this, right? And it's something that people are going through, and probably, as I kind of mentioned earlier, feeling a little bit trapped. Even if you're in a good gig, even if you're making the money that you feel like you deserve to be making, and your body is holding up really well, there's still not a lot of other places to go if the worst happens, right? If the industry continues to nosedive as it has been. And I think just also the things that we want out of our lives as we get older are things like flexibility, right? The thing, and I always, I try to be sensitive to. I know people listening to this don't have this luxury that I have, and I feel like an asshole saying it, but I'm just trying to be honest with where I am in my life. When it's summertime and Jad, was the week that we couldn't put him in camp because it was the week that we came home from Spain, he just came to work with me. And he sat in my office and he played on his iPad and he did what he needed to do, and I did what I needed to do. You can't do that when you're working in a brew house. You can't sit your kid at the table at your desk in the brew house in 100-degree heat with dangerous things around. You can't do that, right? When you have a production schedule you got to meet, what do you do when your kid needs to go to the doctor? Well, hope your partner can do it. If you don't have a partner, you got to take a sick day.
Yeah.
You got to do something else, right? As we get older, we seek that kind of flexibility in our employment. And the industry that we have all been in and around for many, many years rarely offers that, at least for the positions that are the only really important positions in the brewery, right? The ones that actually make all the beer. And I think that goes to that mental shift that we have of the position we are in our lives, the things that we want out of it, more than just going, hey, I want a job that pays me X amount of dollars and I have the weekends off. Like, yeah, when I was 25, 30, that was all I cared about, because I didn't have a wife. I didn't have a son. I didn't really particularly care about anything else. I was never going to go to the doctor myself because I didn't have health insurance. So, what do I need any kind of other benefit for? As long as you pay me enough that I can, put food on my table and I have my weekends off to hang out with my friends, I'm good. Well, life changes and then we need more things. And unfortunately, they're not always offered.
Tim, you could always get into acting. Like there's a number of actors who didn't really start acting until like late 30s and so on. So just putting that out there to you.
Yeah, I mean that seems pretty realistic. It's probably something I could do.
I think you could.
It's probably something I could do from Minneapolis. There is a
thriving film industry.
Yeah, that would definitely pay well and give me consistent work.
They call it the Hollywood of the Midwest, do they not?
They do.
Yeah.
They do. It's funny because we do.
They even have that. They even have a sign. It says Grain Belt.
We do have one of the largest like live theater seating per capita in the entire country, but no one's making a living doing that. And if they tell you they're making
40 minutes in and we get our first Minnesota fact.
But like if anyone tells you they're making a living as an actor in this town, you need to meet their spouse, because that's who's really making their living for them. I'm sorry, that's just how it is.
Mike, can you make like I know you can do this. Can you make a graphic? It looks like a stamp, right? And it says Minnesota fact. And anytime Tim does it, you just stamp it on the screen. And then you say Minnesota fact, and it goes dunk, and then it goes up there. Can you do that?
Oh, I can absolutely do that.
Oh, better question. Will you do that?
I'm making a note for myself right now. That's the great thing about using this platform now, is there is actually a timestamp on there, so I can go through and I can add that stuff in.
Nice.
I love it.
Nice.
And that's how I was able to find when you say the previous brewery's name so easily. I can go in and add the censor bleep in there. Also add Richard Grieco's face over your face for that.
That was fantastic.
I have fun with editing once again.
I wonder what Richard Grieco's doing right now.
It's that time of the episode for us to wonder what Richard Grieco's doing right now.
Probably not worrying about what his next career move is.
Or maybe very much worrying about what his next career move is.
Yeah, he's getting out of acting to get into brewing, actually. Yeah.
Oh, is he getting into that the brewery game with Kelsey Grammer?
And Vanilla Ice, I
part of that.
believe.
Oh yeah, and Vanilla Ice.
Did that
Yeah.
ever happen, Mike? Did his brewery in Lake Worth ever like come to fruition?
No, I mean apparently he's still working on it. There was there was a piece in the Palm Beach Post, our local newspaper. They did a video thing. I think it was them, like a year ago, and they were interviewing him in the where the bar area was, and it was still very much just stripped out bare. But he goes, "Yeah, the bar behind here, that's done. The bar is a frame." Like a frame, and he's pointing back to it and saying it's done. Like like this guy, this fucking guy, like and we wonder why he took the state fair gig with Trump, because not making any money on beer. But
I just wait until they open and he does actually collaborate with anyone. Will he listen? That's what I want to know.
I will say that if you want to just encapsulate, all the things that are embarrassing about Florida, Vanilla Ice opening up a brewery just kind of fits right in that pocket, right? Like that's the typical thing you would think of. That's absolutely happening in Florida. An embarrassment from the 90s, getting in on an industry that's dying in a...
It's just Florida Mad Libs. It's like washed up celebrity. Okay, now I need a type of business. Okay. Like, guys, this is ridiculous. Look at this. So Vanilla Ice opened a brewery. Isn't that funny? No, that does sound like it will be fantastic. I will be making sure to make a trip whenever it does finally open.
And also, I'm looking forward to Richard Grieco's cupcake place that's opening up right next door. So that's also something to look forward to. That's a Florida fact, Mike.
Very Florida. There actually is, though, a really awesome coffee shop like right around the corner from where he's going to open it up. But
is it owned by Richard Grieco?
It's owned by Rod Carew.
Rod Carew.
Oh, it's called Carew's Coffee House, so I'm only assuming that it's owned by Rod Carew.
He converted.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So I know we took a hard left turn, using my right hand, by the way. We took a hard left turn. I promise I know which one's which. From the whole idea that we were talking about getting old, but
you're doing it for the viewer, because if we're looking they're looking at you, it's to their left.
Yeah.
So is that how it works?
Yeah.
I don't know. But I am interested to see, and just from each one of your perspectives, we talk all the time about this industry and how we feel about it, but is there something over the, let's say, last 10 years that you think has been like the biggest change in your mentality, Mike? About beer or the industry in general?
I've become more of a realist, like for sure. Like I used to be super optimistic about this industry, probably to a fault. But like I've become realistic about like what is possible and what is capable for this area, at least. And whether that makes me seem negative, like some people think we are on this show, then so be it. But like I have spent like countless times on this show preaching about how much I still love the beer industry. And like if the circumstances were right, I would still be working in this industry. even with like if the industry was still in trouble the way that it is right now, I still want to work in it. I still feel like I can be valuable to a company to help make them better. I can't solve all issues, but I do think that I have the capabilities to help in a lot of ways. So like there is still that. Like I still feel strongly about certain aspects of this business and this industry that can work if you have certain things already in place. I don't need to go into all of that, but like I, yeah, like I wish I was still employed in this industry, getting to do the stuff that I love to do uh, for a brewery that is open-minded and wants to try some things.
Was
My
that
mic's
camera
off.
turned to be on mute? All right.
Yeah. So how about you, Tim? Is there some mentality shift that you've noticed in yourself as you've aged?
You know, a few years back, Joel came up with the hashtag of craft beer circle jerk, um, which I don't think was entirely unfitting, because craft beer took itself too seriously. But I feel like what's changed is craft beer probably didn't take itself seriously enough as an actual business. It took itself way too seriously when it came to, you know, styles and its importance in the cultural zeitgeist, and not seriously enough in what it takes to be a long
As
term.
an art.
Yes, and not seriously enough as to what it takes to put on the big boy pants and be a real business, and what it means to take care of its employees, and what it means to be an actual member of the community, what it means to have a long-term business strategy and a diverse portfolio, and all of those things. And I think as I've gotten older, I've learned to appreciate a lot more the companies that did do it right and did look at diversifying their portfolios and did set themselves up for a long-term strategy. And long-term didn't mean overbuilding, expecting to be big, extrapolating 1 year of sales into a 12-year plan, like not that type of thing, but really took the time to consider, and that's what a lot of them that are going to be left standing and doing well, particularly like amongst the regionals, are the ones that had a more strategic plan. Um, I think learning to let go of that craft beer is sexy, and letting it be widgets. At the end of the day, you're producing widgets. That's really kind of the way I've looked at it, and it helps to depersonalize it in some ways, which is nice. It helps to remember that it's not so unique, right? That's the other reason why beer never took itself seriously as a business, is because everyone thought, well, beer's different. And I'm like, it isn't. Get over yourself in that way. Like it isn't, or at least it shouldn't be. The only reason it's different is because you're trying to make it different, but you're not making it different good, and you're refusing to listen to a lot of things. And so I think for me, while I hate what the commoditization of craft beer has done to the industry as a whole, I think if people would have had that mentality earlier on, A, we wouldn't be in this place, and B, we wouldn't be running into this situation where people are aging out of the industry with nowhere else to go, without developing the right skill sets, or not making enough money, or all of these other problems we talked about earlier. I think for me, that's maybe where I've seen that shift. And I don't necessarily say that with a cynical lens. Certainly, I'm a grumpy old curmudgeon, so that's going to poke through. But more just hindsight being what it is. Man, widget manufacturing is a whole different thing when you look at it than if you look at it as like you're making some sexy art, like Mike said. So, I've said sexy a lot on this podcast already.
Not enough.
Well, I mean, looking at you two gentlemen, how can that not be the first adjective that's on my mind?
Guilty as charged.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm getting a little rambly here, but I don't know. Hopefully that made sense.
Tim, I share those feelings completely. I think that's my biggest mentality shift. I still love when Ralph makes a beer that I try and I go, wow, I wish we could make this year round. 10 years ago, I would have tried to make a plan to make one of these beers year round, and it would have failed.
Mhm.
Now I can say, this is a great beer to have in the tap room. And now let's go make the widgets that keep the lights on. Because at the end of the day, nobody's going to give a shit. Yeah. Nobody's going to give a shit. I don't care if you win a gold medal. I don't care of any of those things. The vast majority of people are never going to drink that super special beer that you love more than anything in the world. And even if you do have that beer, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, the vast majority of people drinking that don't really give a shit that they're drinking that. It's just the thing that they know that they drink. They're not sitting down contemplating and having a conversation with their buds like we are, watching the baseball game going, man, isn't this just the perfect pale ale that's ever been made? No, it's just a beer they tried and liked, and then they go, hey, want a beer? And they go, yeah. And then they talk about everything else other than that. And people like us with our heads that, at least for years and maybe still sometimes now, have our heads up our own asses, think that's how that goes. And that losing of the romanticism for the external has been so important for me. Mm-hmm. Internally, I still love it. I'm drinking a Weihenstephan or Hefeweizen right now. I love this beer. I just love it. I want to savor it. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about Hefeweizens I've made in the past. That is never going away. I hope it never does. But at no point do I want to sit down with a random neighbor and talk about this beer with them. That's insufferable, right? No one cares about that. I went to one of my kids. I went to my son's season kickoff party for his baseball team, and I brought a bunch of beer, and I was just happy that people were drinking it. I wasn't asking their opinion. I wasn't telling them where they could buy it. I wasn't doing. It's just like, here, have a beer. I don't expect you to think about this more than for the next 30 seconds and then move on with your life. And I think that's so much more healthy now than the way I used to be.
Prior to this past 4th of July, the last number of 4th of Julys, I would bring cases of beer to our block party that we have on the 4th of July and just throw them in the cooler. Like, they would have like a bunch of coolers at a few people's houses, like go to one person's house, here you get some, here you get some, and just walk away. Like, and you'd see someone drinking one or two and they'd be like, oh, that's pretty cool. But like, I never would be like, oh, I make that beer, you want to talk about it? Like, nah, it's just let them have that be the beer of their moment. And that's all that needed to be done.
Yeah, I mean, beer is like any hobby, right? Like, literally, if you go to any backyard party and talk to anyone who's really into their hobby, you very quickly want to walk away from them, whether that's beer or not. Like, have hobbies, please, by all means. But there's a tipping point. Do you have anything else to talk about? I get it. And yeah, Kevin, you mentioned awards. I mean, Pabst has taught us that you need to win one award 180 years ago, and you can live off of that forever. So don't even worry about that from a romantic standpoint. 1840s, I think, is when they won that blue ribbon. They've been getting a lot of life out of that.
A lot of mileage. A lot. And it wasn't even a medal. It was a ribbon. I think they won that award so long ago. Medals weren't even invented yet.
They still haven't mined ore yet.
It was like at a county fair, just a blueberry pie and seed art of
no other beer was entered. It was the only beer in existence. Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
When we were in Philly, we were hanging out with a couple of our friends that live in the city, and they have opened up a business, and they won a Best of Philly award with like Philly Magazine just a couple of weeks ago, which is like a big deal. Philly Magazine's a big deal, and the Best of Philly awards are a big deal for businesses up there. And they won an award for their business, and they're like, we are going to ride this into the ground if we have to. I was like, do you know how many breweries have like gold medal from 1997 on their label? And they go, Pabst Blue Ribbon has been riding. And I was like, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I would be remiss. I've been really checked out for the last week or so just because I have so much stuff going on at the brewery and with my personal life. But Mike, you sent a text message about some best of awards that were going on in Florida. And Mike said, congratulations to Odd Breed for being nominated for the best of 2026. I don't know if you guys remember, any listeners, that I used to be part owner of a sister brewery called Odd Breed Wild Ales that at no point operated in 2026.
Or in 2025.
No, we closed that business a long time ago, and nominated 2026. If you ever need more ammunition to know why all of this is bullshit, it's because somehow Odd Breed Wild Ale. And the other funny thing is, it was like was it a best in Florida or Palm Beach County? Whatever.
It's Florida. Yeah.
Barrel of Monk's not nominated. We exist.
I thought
Odd Breed Wild Ales nominated.
I thought that was very funny. I wasn't going to comment until you did, Kevin, and since you didn't, then I lost all of the jokes I was going to make. But it is best, you know. It's like the in memoriam reel at the Oscars. There's just a Sarah McLachlan in the Arms of an Angel or something playing as you guys accept an award posthumously.
If they did that at whatever CBC of an in memoriam for breweries, it would go on for 7 days because there's so many breweries closing. It would just be reel after reel after reel.
I think you might have given me an idea for a video.
Yeah. I mean,
a second Sarah McLachlan video.
Yeah,
at that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it very well could be legitimate, though, based off of some liquor stores and the date codes I've seen on some beers, that someone still thinks that there's beer out there available in 2026.
There's Odd Breed beers at Total Wine right now. Probably every Total Wine. I've seen Cascade beers in the Total Wines around here, and Cascade's been closed for probably about 2 years as well. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, I went and I picked up a McDLT.
An Arch Deluxe.
And I got myself some beer from a brewery that has been defunct for...
Got me some Zima and some Crystal Pepsi. They actually brought both of those back.
They did.
I remember I brought a case of Zima to your house, Kevin. To when they did that for, I think we were watching a pay-per-view. That
is literally the third Zima reference in my life this week. So I want to thank you guys. It may not be because I'm of a certain age that so many people around me are familiar with it, but third time this week someone's brought up Zima. So thank you. I need to go get something different now.
I mean, I feel like we ran through this kind of quick.
Quick for us. I mean, usually we just ramble for at least an hour and a half.
Because we're all in agreement. We're old, we hurt, and we can't do this.
No, everybody hurts, Mike.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I hate all of us. I hate all three of us.
Yeah. I am glad that my pain from my very soft body has been able to spark a good conversation that we could have a podcast about. I want to also say that the idea of the amount of muscle mass I have obviously lost. I tried to push a double stack of half barrel kegs. I couldn't move it.
On a pallet jack?
On a pallet jack. No, Mike, no pallet jack. I just tried to push it across the floor.
There's your problem.
Like a tackling dummy, like a sled in football practice. I tried to put my shoulder in. No, I had a pallet jack and I tried to push, and it was, I will give myself this one this one little concession. It was up a slight incline. It was up the side of a sloped floor. And slight, guys, slight. I'm not trying to give myself that much leeway, but I couldn't for the life of me. I had to call Ralph and go, Ralph, help. I need help with this. Knowing that in my younger days, I just would have pushed that fucking pallet. I would have been fine. And forget the beer industry or any of that kind of stuff. That just sucked. Just knowing that I have lost that much strength over the years is just bizarre to me.
Or was that wisdom that you gained because you would have been dumb and stubborn and put yourself at risk of injury pushing something you shouldn't have, and now you're older and wiser and went, the smarter, safer thing to do, the more OSHA friendly thing to do would come find a second person to assist with this. That's the spin I tell myself every day when I'm no longer capable of doing things. I work with a lot much younger people, and I like to just say, I could obviously do this. However, to help you understand the safe way of doing this, I'm going to go ahead and grab this end. If you could grab that end, we'll move it together just so you understand safety protocols. It is not at all that I'm going to go immediately grab an ibuprofen after we're done. It is,
I like the spin. I like everything you're doing here, Tim.
Yeah.
I also like the idea that maybe where I left that double stacked pallet of half barrels, maybe that's where it was supposed to be.
It was supposed to be there.
Maybe it's. I think of what is Brian Regan has that bit about the strongman competition of like heaving kegs into a second story window, and he's like, "I'm pretty sure you don't have to do that." Like, I don't think they need to be up there, guys. I don't. I don't think those kegs need to be anywhere else. They're just fine. They're just fine right there now.
What was the joke that like, well, I just live here now. I've severely improved my predicament. Wasn't that a Hedberg joke? Like I was thinking of that with the kegs. Like, oh, they just live here now. Like this is their home.
I wish. I'm mad that I can't place the joke because I definitely have heard that delivery, but I'm sorry, Mike, I can't. But no, that's kind of what I'm thinking too.
Now, I was also trying to remember, and I now have it's either late 2018 or early 2019. You at one point texted me, Kevin. This is when I was living in Philly, and you sent me a picture of yourself on the brew deck and said, "Look at me. I'm just like you. I work in the brew house too." Because I guess Ralph was on vacation and you had to brew a couple batches of beer. So you put yourself back out there. So I'm wondering, was that the last time you were working in the brew house?
On the brew deck, I think I probably did it once after that, maybe once or twice, but just doing any kind of appreciable cellar work. And let me be very clear here.
Oh, also that wasn't Ralph brewing at that time. That was probably Tim brewing at that time.
But let me be very clear here. I filled like 8 pallets of kegs over 2 days. Ralph even made up the sanitizer buckets and put my parts in it. Like I did nothing. Okay. I did the
Did you hook up the tank?
Oh no, I hooked up the manifold and everything, and I cleaned up everything that I could. But in the grand scheme of things, I did nothing. I just turned some dials and moved a few things around. And I did it, once again, like 8 pallets over a 2-day period. No one should feel bad for me in any way, shape, or form, because it's just my own frustration with my own breaking down of my physical being of not being able to do these things that is destroying my psyche. And also my knees hurt, which they haven't hurt in a long time. And I forgot what that feels like.
They say there's the old saying of it's like riding a bike, you never forget. But I took like 10 years off of bike riding, and the first time I hopped on a bike, I felt like a deer with new legs. Like I will say, you do forget. There's some muscle memory on certain things in a brewery that I'm certain, like if I were to go back to having, because I don't keg anymore, that if I had to go back there, I would feel very dumb and awkward and weak.
This I will say I'm pretty proud of. I did it really efficiently, and like got right. Okay, we have a very rudimentary kegging rig. I mean, the same kind of kegging rig that we would have used at our former brewery, Mike, back in the day. Probably very similar to anything you've used over the years, Tim. But like just getting the right flow out from the discharge of the keg to make sure that you are spitting clear foam, not clear foam, but a consistent foam coming out of the not sputtering coming out of the discharge of the keg to make sure that you're full, right? And I always took pride in losing as little beer as possible, right? And I kind of got in the rhythm really quickly of
Nice.
even to the point where like not even needing really, I could just hear it and not really needing even to put my thumb over the outlet tube to kind of feel the flow. I kind of felt like it was a little bit like riding a bike. The real issue came when like physically I would just be like, I don't want to crouch down there. Like I don't want to move laterally. Have you guys felt this way in the past? Like I run every night, but if I have to make like a slight lateral movement, I'm like, oh fuck that. I'm just gonna go home. Because like those little movements here or there, like kind of like having to like slide in between tanks, that's the stuff that gets me.
I've been really meaning to, and by meaning to I mean saying it a lot, not taking any action towards signing up for yoga, because I complained the other day that maybe I just need to let my toenails grow out because reaching down there already feels like a lot of work. Um, uh, Gross visual. But again, that's where my OnlyFans foot pick career is going to take off. But yeah, no, I'm with you. Anything outside of like a you know a forward or backwards position,
North south movements, no deviation.
I'm not juking anyone out of their shoes by any means. I if anyone does a killer crossover, I'm the one getting killed.
So there were like when I was working in the brewery and at Copper Point, like there were a few areas where I knew like I could slide through, like, and I was like 195 pounds at that time. Then like fast forward like to me being just the marketing guy, and we put on pop-up events, we put on other events there, and sometimes I find that I had to like move between the brewery tanks to get around because certain paths were blocked off. And there was one path that I used to go through between two break tanks, and I tried to do it one time and I was like, whoop, nope, all right, I'm like Santa stuck in the fucking chimney. Like, all right, let me get out of there and go down to one of the wider ones I know I can get through. All right, here we go. Yeah, it was a kind of depressing moment for that. I always dug like those little paths that you would have in a brewery that you could just kind of slip through and slide through. Like I liked those lateral movements then. I guess I don't really think about it too much now of like, but I kind of do, like moving around the kids. I have fucking 3 dogs in my house now, and one of them's a fucking puppy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Side note: you're an idiot. I want to point that out.
I'm gonna get into this in my last call.
In his defense, he's trying to get to a 1-to-1 dog to human ratio, and there's
Yeah.
4 humans and 3 dogs. He only needs one more.
Dog is absolutely adorable. But if I had twins, I would say nothing else alive comes into this house. I literally cannot even take care of a plant. 2 children the same age is already too much. So you're a stronger man than I am, for sure. And the dog is adorable. I made sure to show Lily pictures of that dog because she was very excited. Basically, anytime my daughter and I hang out, it's just 90% either looking at pictures of dogs on my phone, of dogs I know, or have met or have gotten sent to me, or she's looking at dog videos on YouTube, ruining my algorithm. So I do very much appreciate that.
Ruining my algorithm.
That-
I just like that statement. That's good.
oh no, she regularly destroys all my social media. I don't know any of the influencers, and I don't want to, but they show up. No, but the dog is very cute. But yeah, I don't have the physical wherewithal to keep up with that. I am thinking about going the Homer Simpson route and talking to Dr. Nick Riviera of gaining weight so I can work from home. I would prefer. I'm going to rub any of my food on a piece of paper, and if I can see through it, and I'm going to start moo shopping, I'm going to make sure I can work from home one way or another.
Do any of you guys remember how heavy Homer was when he started his weight loss journey?
No.
No.
Is it going to be shockingly low?
239 pounds.
Yeah, that is shockingly low.
239, and he needed to get over 300. Why do I know that? First of all, I will say, recently watched the episode with my son because we try to watch like 3 or 4 Simpsons episodes a week. But 239, it has always been burned into my brain.
Jesus.
You might you want to go to Vegas and count some cards, Kevin? I think that's all I'm going to say.
As long as those cards have something to do with pop culture references that I'm interested in, then it'll be fine.
Little did you know, Tim, Kevin's been to Vegas once and he's not allowed back because he was counting cards.
Do you know I have been to Vegas one time? I've been to Vegas one time. I did not drop a single coin into a slot. I gambled nothing. Not $1.
He was counting cards, but it was at a Pokemon convention, so
No, he was counting cards because he was at James Randi's convention, so he was counting playing cards.
Nice. That absolutely makes sense. I believe you would be at
I went to the Amazing Meeting 2012.
Yeah.
One of the best things I ever did in my younger days. And no one knows what the fuck we're talking about. The Amazing Meeting was a meeting of science and skepticism. Keynote speakers were Penn and Teller. James Randi was a skeptic, a magician who regularly appeared on Carson and debunked people that's obviously Peter Popov was a big person that he ended up debunking, him being able to speak to God to find out information about people. Uri Geller, he appeared on the Tonight Show and taught Johnny Carson all the things that he would do to divine water and bend spoons and things of that nature. And they used to do a thing called the Amazing Meeting every year in Vegas, where people that were nerds like me would get together. And I went one year. I was still working at Funky Buddha at that time, and I didn't have any money. And I saved up all I could, and I went to this meeting, and it was like the coolest thing I'd ever done, and always wanted to go back. And then they stopped doing it, unfortunately. Just a little background, so people are not like, "What the fuck is he talking about?"
James Randi, who passed away, 6-7 years ago in Florida, actually.
Yeah, he lived in Florida.
Yeah.
Well, the James Randi Educational Foundation was in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh yeah,
and that's where they did the $1 Million Psychic Challenge. I actually when I was there, I got to I got to be a person who was a test subject in a testing of a balance bracelet. Remember the hologram technology that was going to, like, Shaquille O'Neal would wear, and then like gave you more dexterity because people are dumb and placebos are magical. I got to be one of the 30 people on stage in the blind test to see if this balance bracelet worked.
Little did they know that you were naturally unbalanced, so it was already a bias from the beginning.
It was actually brilliant. I know I'm going to a long tangent here, and just tell me to shut the fuck up if you guys don't care about this. But
we got to fill time. Keep on going.
I had met a couple people at the conference, and one of the guys I met who I was talking to, he's like, "Hey, I know the guys from Skeptic Side of the Universe, which is one of my favorite podcasts, and they need people to go in and be potential participants in this thing. He's like, and I told him about you. They said, you can come. I said, okay. They took us in this little room in the hotel, and this big jacked up dude who 100% believed that his bracelet would like make you magically stronger. He would have you stand on one leg and put your arms out like this, and he would push down on your arm.
Oh yeah.
All right. And then he'd give you the bracelet to hold on to. Then he'd do it again. And you know it's happening, right? You have no idea what he's going to do. He just says, put one leg into, and then he knows you have the bracelet. So he'd push straight down instead of pulling down. Anyway, it's all in his brain. So he identified me as like highly susceptible to this because now I knew he was going to do it. So I fought against him pushing my arm down. So now I'm up on stage doing this in front of hundreds and hundreds of people with the idea that if this guy gets a certain amount right in a blind challenge, he's going to win $1 million. And they took the bracelet and they had a dummy bracelet in like a almost like an earring box or something you would get like if you go to like a jewelry store. Mm-hmm. And they had his bracelet inside the box, and then they had like a rubber band inside the box of the same like weight. And they would shake it around in a bag, and then they would randomly pick them out. And of course, this guy's so confident in this room. He's like, "Oh, you're going to be great. This is the money's in the bag." This guy was a true believer. He got up on stage, couldn't pick a single person out. Every single person, he had no idea whether they had the real bracelet or the placebo bracelet. And you'd think like the guy would have like learned something from it, but his takeaway was basically like, "Well, I don't know why it didn't work. It must be something about this that made it not work, but it certainly does work. I've done like 300 pounds on bench press and then put the band on and done 320. So I know that it works." And also, by the way, for you guys, just go to the Amazing Meeting 2012 and you can see me on stage. It's still on YouTube.
Oh, well.
And
okay.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is a perfect analogy for the next time your craft beer nerd friend tries to tell you what is right or wrong with this beer, that they absolutely don't know what they're talking about, because that will come up.
Placebos work.
Also tell them about Kevin going to the Amazing Meeting.
Please recite that entire story. There's so much more.
Which is,
oh, you have a problem with my beer? Please sit down. I have a story to tell you about my friend Kevin.
I give up. Your beer's fine. Please don't tell me that boring ass story about people I don't care about.
Perfect. Glad we agree. All right. Anyone have anyone want to talk baseball? How do you feel about your trade deadline move?
Any more stuff about conferences, niche events? I also want to point out that I'm sorry, Tim. I know you're going to say something, but earlier in this episode, Tim mentioned the fact that you walk into any party and some asshole is going to start telling you passionately about their hobby, and you're going to just want to check out immediately. Fast forward 30 minutes, and I told you about my hobby about being into science and skepticism. Thank you guys for not checking out. I'm sorry for all of you who listened to this and are not hearing my voice now because you stopped listening to the episode.
But I also listen to the Skeptic Guys in the Universe, and I am also a huge James Randi fan. So I was interested. So that's one person. No, I was going to point out that I appreciated Mike's shirt. I thought that was quite nice. Please go support public broadcasting under attack again now more than ever.
I took this up to Pennsylvania with me, and I was wearing it on one day I was wearing it, and then the very next day we went out to lunch and walked past a dude wearing the same exact shirt. And I'm like, so glad I did not wear that shirt today. But I'm sure that we would have probably been like, "Hey, nice shirt."
You could have made a real
Yeah.
So happy I didn't have to make a genuine connection with a stranger. That's what you just said, Mike. That's what you just said.
I'm a terrible person.
He likes to keep his public broadcasting private.
Yes.
Don't look at my shirt.
The P's for private, right?
private broadcasting system.
Private but sexy.
Jesus.
So, Kevin, I do have to ask you this: why the Dodgers?
Oh God. Well, I'll give you a real answer to this.
We got Jeff Passan on the show.
Scott Harris from the Tigers he's done like multiple deadline deals, most of them either with the Phillies or the Dodgers. He likes to work with people that he knows and is comfortable with. That's what it seems like, right? I have no insider knowledge. But also, my son was really upset by this because friends of his, he's in baseball, are complaining about the Dodgers getting Scooble. And he was then hearing like secondhand how it was wrong, that the Tigers traded Scooble to the Dodgers and the rich get richer and blah, blah, blah. They just offered a better trade package. The guys they got back, River Ryan could be a legitimate 2 or 3 starting pitcher. He's got real talent if he can stay healthy. Zaire Hope is his name, the right fielder. Dude's a 5-tool athlete that is close. He's in like AA. They've got real talent back for it. So everyone's saying that, oh yeah, well, they could have got a better package from the Brewers. Who knows, right? Who knows what they could have gotten back at the end of the day. So I'm happy with the return. I'm actually happy they traded Scooble. And since then, I'm pretty sure they lost today. I stopped looking at updates because I was depressed. But, going into today, they were only 2.5 games out of their own division without Scooble and Mize. So I'm happy. I feel like the future is bright for the Tigers organization. And I wish Tarek Scooble the best on his future endeavors.
I thought I had heard somewhere that like there was a better package offered to them. But again, I don't know what's to believe because I thought it too was like that the Dodgers, what you got were like not even in their top 5 of prospects.
But no, Zaire Hope was in their top 5 of prospects, I believe. I think it was like the number 4 or number 5 of prospect. But the Dodgers organization is so good that getting the guys they got in this trade would have probably been the number 1 prospect in any other organization. They're just so deep. So that, and also, and I'll go on a little mini tangent here. The idea that anyone knows if any of these people are going to pan out is preposterous. Spencer Torkelson is one of my favorite players in baseball, first baseman for the Tigers, hits 220 with 30 home runs. He plays terrible defense at first base. They said this guy was the next Barry Bonds. How did that work out for you? Right? Just because you're a number 1 draft pick and a big it means nothing.
They said Larry Bonds, the insurance salesman. You just misheard that.
That makes sense. Then they were right.
Yeah.
But and he's a good ball player. But this whole thing where like the Brewers, their prospect in the top 100 was the number 4, and the guy they got was number 8. So that's a loss. Who the fuck cares? I mean, we have no idea how any of this is going to work out. Guys look at tools and how close they are to the majors and what their needs are. And that was a choice they made. I'm fine with it.
I think it's funny that you said the Tigers only trade with the Dodgers and the Phillies, because I'm wondering who in the AL Central doesn't trade almost exclusively with the Phillies, because like a third of the Twins roster over the last 10 years has somehow ended up in a Philly uniform shortly thereafter. Dating all the way back to Ben Revere, I think like at some point every Twin ends up in a Philly uniform.
Dombrowski just trades away everyone in the farm system for major league talent, which, by the way, that's a good idea.
That's true.
Major league talent that has a proven track record doesn't always work out either, but trading a wild card of a person that has a lot of tools that's 21 years old for somebody in their prime, that's always a good idea. That's a good bet. You take that every time.
I remember when the Phillies got Roy Halladay back in 2010, I believe it was. We traded our number 1 prospect a pitcher by the name of Kyle Drabeck, son of Pirates great Doug Drabeck. And
I thought you were going to say Andy Van Slyke. Go ahead.
He really was. But there were so many people who were like, how could we? Kyle Drabeck became nothing. Like he eventually went back down to the minors and became a positional player, like as an attempt to try to revive his career. Like, and we got one of the best pitchers of the generation, like in return for him. So yes, exactly. Like I know I'm on the Philly subreddit. Like, holy shit, no one wanted Dombrowski to drain the farm system, but like so many of those people are just basket cases of fans. But I do want to go back to the AL Central thing, because the one trade that we made earlier in the season when we were actually up in Minnesota was to get Derek Hill from the Chicago White Sox. And
Former Tiger.
He's worked out great for us.
That's what I'm saying.
As a platoon guy and a late inning bat and a defensive replacement.
That's what I'm saying. I do not understand why the Phillies aren't in the AL Central, because every AL Central team eventually just gives their players over to for the Phillies.
If we were in the division, none of them would trade to us then.
Derek Hill was another guy that the Tigers were very high on for many years and did nothing in the major leagues whatsoever. I also want to point out that I respect what we do so much on this show that we have abandoned any idea that we're not just hanging out and talking at this point. Just throw it out the window. Like, there's no one else listening. This is just the three of us. It's the three of us and my dad. And that's really it. And that's fine. I think that's what we should be doing. We should just want this. Mike's actually opening up another bottle of whiskey, making himself another hot toddy.
I've moved on to Avery Maharaja. I've
never seen that in a can like that before. I didn't even know he still made Maharaja.
I was just about to say the same thing.
Well,
I didn't know that
it might also be. I might also be going off on this one in the future.
I need to get my hands on some of that, dude. I love that beer.
I don't know if Kevin remembers, like that was like one of my favorites for a long period of time. Like, I loved that beer so much.
Avery in general, I mean, had beer after beer that I just was a staple I would go back to all the time. And we get no Avery stuff down here. Zero. They used to be a player. It was like Dogfish Head, Sierra, Avery. I mean, really, that was what dominated draft lines, and I haven't seen a can or a bottle or anything in forever.
White Rascal used to be really easy to find. Was it like if you didn't want Blue Moon or Shock Top, like you were probably having White Rascal.
Just Avery IPA. It was everywhere. I mean, everywhere in craft beer bars. I'm not saying it was at frickin' TGI Fridays down here. I'm just saying it was, if you went to a craft beer spot, you had 6 Avery options, and everything they carried was at Total Wine and More.
Yeah. So I'm going to bring this back full circle before we jump into last calls. One of the things I've learned is there is a cycle to everything in craft beer. And one of the great things that we're doing now, brought over from Barrel of Monks to United We Drink, is Old Favorite Fridays. And it is very exciting for me, as we've all aged out of and now suddenly back into some of these classic styles. I'm really excited that we get to share those beers with you all and talk about those things. A beer like Avery Maharaja, which will may or may not be making an appearance in a lot of the other ones. I'm just giving away the catalog. It's fine. But we do appreciate, dear listener, what we've experienced over our time in the craft beer industry and as just beer nerds, and it's been a lot of fun.
And please engage in the viral sensation that is Old Favorite Friday. I mean, you can't get away from it. It's all over the place. It's in everybody's feeds. But just because it shows up everywhere doesn't mean we can't use a like and a comment here or there. I mean, the rich get richer, right? We're like the Dodgers. We need more love for our content.
Yes.
The Vero Beach Dodgers, right? Like, so I'm going to put this out there to you. If you are a listener and a fan of this, and you are on our Instagram or on our YouTube channel, and you're watching our Old Favorite Fridays, comment, "Yeah, I love this one," on one of them to show me that you listen. To show me, like that would be really cool, because you need to have a few words in there for that comment to really mean something. It can't just be like thumbs up emoji. But yeah, I love that one in a comment.
Or
please.
put it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Or call me Ishmael. Use words and language in the way that you know how.
It was the best of time. It was the blurst of times.
You stupid monkey.
I will do it one. I'll one up Mike. Just because. If you have made it this far, comment on the next Old Favorite Friday, Farfignugan, and I will personally pay for Mike to ship out a United We Drink tea of your choice from our merch store on UnitedWeDrink.com.
There we go.
The first one, not everyone. I can't pay for 2 shirts because all 2 of you will. But
so you got to say Farfignugan first.
Listen,
first, yes.
No one ever called you Tim 2 Shirts Johnson, right? No one's ever said that. 2 sheds, yes. 2
Yes.
shirts, no.
No, they've usually just said, Tim, please put on a second shirt.
And we're back to the pants thing. See, everything comes full circle.
Yep. So yes, I guess Kevin's dad, what size shirt do you wear? I think, and pick out whatever one on the United We Drink merchandise store. Mike, what else do we have on UnitedWeDrink.com for
Shirts,
merchandise?
buttons, stickers, totes, all of that fun stuff.
Fun.
Fun. We have fun available at the low price of something.
Well, it's like itchy and scratchy dollars, right? It's like real money, but it's fun.
I thought these were Patty's dollars, a self-sustaining economy.
We've come to the pop culture reference of the show, the period where we just rapid fire these for the 4 people that are still listening.
Should we head into last calls?
No, let's keep doing this.
Okay.
Yes, let's go to last calls.
All right, let's head into last calls. The point in the show where we give each other an unspecific amount of time to talk about whatever it is that we want, beverage related or not. The only rules are that it's uninterrupted, unopposed, unobjected. Kevin, you can start us off today.
So I always forget what I have said on this show because I drink a fair amount, but I got a record player for my birthday this year about a month ago. And I got a bunch of albums that I went to a local record store called Dave's Records, I think it is, in Delray Beach. And I picked up a couple Warren Zevon albums. I know Warren Zevon's entire catalog. He's one of my favorite artists. In fact, as I get older, as much as I love Bruce Springsteen and Steve Earle, as much as I love things like Radiohead, which I kind of grew up listening to, the stuff that I mentioned previously is more like the influence from my dad, his music. As much as I love all these artists, if I had to pin down my favorite artist at this point, it's probably Warren Zevon. And as much as I've listened to his stuff, just like everybody, there are songs in any artist catalog that you know, but you've never really listened to. I'm sure we all have had that kind of experience. In the album Bad Luck Streak and Dancing School, there's a song called Gorilla, You're a Desperado. I've listened to this album all the way through 20, 30 times. It's later in the album. I know the melody. I even kind of know the words, but I never really listened to them. And I'm encouraging people to delve deeper into the catalogs of the musicians you like, because sometimes you find a gem and you're like, why haven't I been listening to this song intently forever? The lyrics to open the song are: big gorilla at the LA Zoo snatched the glasses right off my face, stole the keys to my BMW, left me here to take his place. The song is about a gorilla taking over his identity, moving into his apartment, and marrying his girlfriend while he stays at the zoo. This is the most ridiculous song ever. It's also a brilliant deconstruction of like the corporate structure and what it means to be a human being. Later on, he talks about the gorilla divorcing his former girlfriend, getting a big time corporate job, going through transactional analysis, which is a psychological evaluation, which you've never heard transactional analysis in any song in your life because no one's ever done that, because no one's as fucking crazy as Warren Zevon. And basically, the gorilla ends up ridiculously unhappy no matter what, because he's shackled to his platinum chain, essentially. This song is insane. It is also freaking brilliant. And even though I could mouth most of the lyrics, I never really thought about them. If you are a person like me, none of you are, because one person is. But if you are, listen to Warren Zevon just in general. Amazing. But if you're not willing to do that, go into some albums from one of your favorite artists that you maybe haven't heard the last songs of in a while. You might find some gems about a gorilla and stolen identity.
All right. I'll jump in here because I'm going to talk about the dog. I alluded to this earlier. So we added to our household a third dog this past Sunday, the day after we got back from Philadelphia. A friend of ours bred her dog that was a Catahoula with a German short hair pointer, had 12 puppies, I think it was. And my wife really wanted to get one. And I fought it. I did not want. We had just gotten another dog in November. I believe I've mentioned that on the show before. So I really did not want another dog. And she wore on me. The kids wore on me. And eventually some concessions were made, at which when I said this into our group chat, I will allow Kevin to say what he said to me in response to this, because it was possibly the funniest joke that I've ever gotten in text message before. Do you recall what you said to me, Kevin?
No. And I'm looking back through our text thread. What did I say?
I recall this very specifically.
Go ahead, Tim.
No,
I said concessions were made.
Yeah,
and
she allowed you to continue your uranium enrichment.
That's correct.
That sounds like something I would say.
That one. I know this is the last call. We're supposed to not interrupt, but that one made me almost pee my pants.
One of the funniest text messages I've ever received. Like, I literally laughed out loud. So yeah, we have this now 10-week-old puppy. Her name is Sunday. I believe my camera frozen? I don't know. It looks like it is on my side. So there's that. So we'll see if I come back.
We can still hear you, Mike.
Great, lovely.
Now we'll check out so you can have a true last call.
Perfect. So what So what we have here now is, yeah, I'm just not coming back. We have 3 dogs. We have a 7-year-old curmudgeon dog, our original one. We have a 1-year-old dachshund mix who is sassy as hell. And then we have now this 10-week-old Catahoula German short hair pointer mix who is insane. Tonight, she jumped off the couch onto our oldest dog's back as he was walking by, just to try to get him to play with her. Crate training has been fun, and not really, but yeah, if you follow me, you've probably seen some pictures, and yeah, she's a bundle of joy. Tim?
I'm really excited.
I can't tell if you're doing this on purpose, but I can't hear you.
Yeah, I somehow accidentally muted.
Hey,
I went to
Tim.
mute myself, and I hit Tim's mute button, but then it wouldn't let me unmute him.
I thought Tim was doing a bit because, like, he can't see you, and now he can't hear Tim. Was this like a hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil kind of thing? I don't know. But Tim, you might want to restart that.
Oh God! Well, no, I was just saying that I was hoping that Mike's last call of the second half was done by Richard Grieco. I think that would be great. Hey, banger of an episode here, gentlemen. A+ work. I hate last calls are unopposed sometimes because I had so many thoughts on Kevin's. No, one thing I wanted to talk about that has been on my mind a lot lately. So I was explaining to some of my younger coworkers what the sunk cost fallacy was, because I feel like, not naming names, maybe a company I know called Schmizzy Schmold Brew maybe sometimes finds themselves maybe overcommitted to something that an investment was made in. Really trying to anchor we need to not worry so much about things that aren't working. Let's focus on the things that are. And I hadn't really kind of thought about applying that to my personal life. Now, my coworker Jerry, who's my best friend at work, had been listening to podcasts, to like a business podcast, to actually better himself. Like, I'm super proud of him for that. It's way more healthy than what I listen to. But he was talking about how, like, he was listening to a podcast on the sunk cost fallacy. The analogy that the person gave was, say you paid for parking, and then afterwards you found a parking spot that was free, and it was 2 blocks closer. It's like, so many people would say, but I already paid for that, so I'm going to leave my car there. It's like, why? That money's already spent. It's already gone. Make your life better. Make your life better. It was that phrase, make your life better, that I was thinking about. So much time spent in relationships that I have said, oh, but I've invested so much in this relationship. But when you know it's not working, when you know it's time to move on, that investment that's already spent. That capital is already gone. It's not helping you move forward. It's not making, like, why would you not choose that? But we have a natural bias as humans to look at the capital we spent as somehow intrinsic to who we are, and it isn't. It's not something that, sure, we learned from that journey, but guess what? We learned and we moved on. That spent money, that spent capital, that's sort of like, you know what, man? I ate food. I got what I needed. I got the nutrients, the resources, the energy from that, and I moved forward. And now I'm going to move on to the next thing. I think for me, a lesson I've been learning hard in life lately is, as much as it's easy for me to see the sunk cost fallacy at work, I haven't seen as much as I let it affect my personal life. And I've been really excited as of late to see all of these examples of how I can recognize that sunk cost fallacy that I'm falling victim to, and how I have new people in my life who are helping me realize, choose the better. You don't have to go ahead and be burdened by the things that aren't working just because you invested a lot of time and energy into them, and you feel a lot of like ownership and weight towards and responsibility towards. And please be a responsible person, be, caring and thoughtful and all of those things, but you don't have to wear anything like an albatross around your neck because you invested so much in it if it isn't working. Don't be afraid to embrace some new things, some exciting things. So yeah, sometimes it's really easy to see it and play in a business sense or in anything else. And I'm just now kind of realizing some of that in my own life. And it's been pretty exciting to kind of explore that and let loose and to sound like a really shitty cliche, choose happiness. I think that's kind of key.
I know that we're not supposed to respond, but this is 2 episodes in a row. You have brought up birds. You brought up an albatross during that one. I'm supposed to be the resident bird.
I almost brought up another bird earlier, and I let it go because I had already gone in on birds.
Mike,
and I let it go.
Mike, can you make a supercut of all the times where we say, I know we're not supposed to respond, but that was amazing. I know we're not supposed to respond. I think we respond 50% of the time.
Yeah.
65, maybe even.
To be fair, the rules are
60% of the time we respond every time.
Yeah. Uninterrupted, unobjected, unopposed, not unresponded to.
That's a really good point. It's a loophole.
Yeah. So as long as you're not objecting to anything I say,
Mike trying to find a way to close the loophole.
Well, I mean, to be fair,
well, fuck it. In that case, that was brilliant, Tim. Well done. That's an amazing philosophy, and I support it 100%. I'm going to look at all the sunk cost fallacies of my life. I love my son, but I mean, have I really? do I really want to go forward with our relationship? I don't know. I'm not saying I'm going to cut bait. I'm just saying that you got me thinking.
Yeah, no. So sorry, Jed. That's on me. By the way, unobjected and unopposed, aren't those kind of synonymous?
Not really.
If you object, don't you oppose it?
You can object with that. I don't know. That does maybe.
You can object with clarity. Like you're not opposing, but you might be wanting to add clarity to us.
I object.
Yeah, doesn't sound like he's on my side.
he might be the opposition.
Wait, sustained. Overruled. Wait, I don't know how courts work.
I like the fact that we have been doing this for a long time, in some way, shape, or form. Mike has been doing this for longer than any of the three of us, and
this is episode 170 of this iteration.
And Tim jumps in, going, "Wait a minute, isn't that redundant?" Well, fuck. God damn it.
Does anyone want to plug anything?
I want to plug you guys again. Seriously, no, honestly, to our listeners, if you have not experienced Barrel of Monks, please, everything I have had from them is fantastic. Ralph is doing amazing work. And if you want some great design work, please look at 14 Visuals. Honestly, the way Mike has curated his Instagram right now is just highlighting what a fucking rock star he is. So please, listeners, go check out both of them. I mean that sincerely.
I want to plug James Tallarico. Follow his content, support him, give him $1, maybe $1.50 if you're feeling a little saucy. Help him flip. Tree fitty, absolutely. Help him flip that seat, and also put a person who actually seems to give a fuck about other people in a position of power, and send a message to the rest of the world that compassion and decency still matter.
Oh, and one more plug, Oddbreed. If you guys
Vote for Oddbreed for the best brewery in South Florida of 2026. So good.
Oh man, if I hadn't have replied to that with a shitty comment from the podcast account, if we could have made a groundswell to vote for campaign. Them, yeah.
Like, listen, we're so good, we don't even need to be in business to be the best. That's our motto.
And then we mail Matt an award over in Colorado, like because he's brewing out there in the mountains, and he's just like, "What the fuck is this?" I want to plug the city of Philadelphia. Fucking go visit. I know that there's a lot of fucking dumb bullshit that's based around the city, but go visit it. It's a beautiful city filled with amazing people, great food, artwork, culture, sports, like amazing stuff. Like
that does sound like bullshit. You're right.
Like you
fucking birthplace of liberty.
You have probably never seen a city like it in your life. Please go visit it, show it some love. They'll show you love back.
Bruce Springsteen agrees.
But other than that, like go check out our website, weedrink.com. Check out the Brands We Love page. And you buy some stuff from there, like Made In Coffee, or not Made In Coffee, Trade Coffee, Made In Cookware, Made In Coffee, Trade Cookware.
Collab idea.
Don't piss off the sponsors, Mike. They'll abandon ship if you really conflate those messages.
If they
that could be a hell of a collaboration.
It would be, honestly.
You send yourself
mail order cookware. Yeah, like they just send you something new every month.
No, you buy a wok full of coffee beans. I mean, this is brilliant.
Yeah, I'm for that. I would also love to just get a little piece of a little saute pan or something every month. Like,
yeah, it's a subscription box of stainless cookware. Yeah, I'd like that.
My wife would hate that because our kitchen is already filled with a lot of Made In Cookware as it is. But go check that out. You buy anything from those links and we get a little kickback. Just helps the show. We have our store, like Tim said a little while ago. Check out our YouTube channel and our Instagram accounts. We're starting to put more video content out there. Old Favorite Fridays, just fun little videos that I come up with on a whim. I also found an easy way to clip our show. So I'm going to start putting little video clips on as well of parts of episodes to try to give you a little more of a taster of what's going on if you don't listen to whole shows or anything like that. So yeah, go check out United We Drink pod at it, because if you're listening to this, you don't listen to the show.
Who is this message for?
It's for everyone, the world.
I love you guys.
When Mike and I were big wrestling fans back in the day, and I remember watching Monday Nitro on TNT, and they would have commercials for Nitro. I was like, I'm already watching the fucking show, man. Like, who's watching the show and going, man, that seems great. I should watch that. Sorry.
We're Monday Nitro, so we're about to lose to someone else. Wait, no, that means we get bought out. Okay, so Whoever the WWE podcast is that wants to buy us, you can reach me at info@unitedwedrink.com and send that offer over. I'll have my lawyer, aka I don't know who, review it, and then these guys will get a little kickback too.
And we'll help you set up the invasion storyline.
Oh, that's gonna be bad. Ugh.
No one gets that but you. No one gets that but you and I, Mike. Let's move on. I'm sorry.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Check out all of the social media. Check out stuff. It's out there.
Just in general, go outside. Look. Did you see that trash can? That's interesting.
You see that bird?
That? Yeah.
You see that bird?
Yeah.
That bird's cool. Right?
Choose happiness,
Cheers,
guys.
everyone.
Cheers.
I love you guys.